And now Alphonso Davies makes this a beautiful run in behind. And with those custom tactics, the fast build up, the fullbacks on balanced overlap, they're going to make these runs, right? And then once I make this run, it's actually over. I've scored. Okay. You can't defend this fast enough. And this is what's just so incredible. Okay. Because you see Ronaldo at the top of your screen right there. It's against Gomez. Okay. And he's just gonna be faster. The attacking AI, especially in fast build-up, are just faster than defenders. So all you gotta do is an RB cross. That'll work every single time. What's going on, guys? Rannerz here today. 4-3-1-2 custom tactics video. So my last video 5-2-1-2, it's pretty similar to that. There's obviously the main change is bringing one of those center backs and it's now an extra center mid. And so I've been mainly using this instead of a 5-back because against like people who hold possession, if you only have the 2 center mids like in 5-2-1-2, they can like just hold the ball pretty easily and it's pretty annoying. But with 3 center mids, you do have that extra person in midfield to combat this, so it's better in that regard. But then the con of that is you do get countered a lot easier because now you just have 2 center backs back on defense most of the time rather than 3. So the way to adjust to that is to primarily foul a lot more on the counter attack. So you do use press after possession loss, so you do win the ball back immediately a lot of times. But if they are going to get a chance to counter attack, it's better to take the card, especially with it being really hard to get red cards this year. But also, I use Mbappe at right center mid, so he gets more involved in the attack and gives you that extra option that you don't get with the 5-2-1-2 either, because obviously both center mids just stay back in that formation. So it kind of just adds a little bit more diversity, and overall I think is a slightly better formation than 5-2-1-2. So let's just get into the custom tactics. So this is how I line up. So we have our forwards or whatever. So like I said, Mbappe is right center mid. He's basically another attacker in this formation is how he plays. He's almost like a right mid, a right winger in game. So that's why his low defense doesn't really affect him that much. And he is fast, so he can still like pressure people on defense. So it's not too bad. Then left center mid I have Bruno. Center mid I have Renato. So, you know, it's still got a bit of balance, at least in the midfield. Anyway, so we use press after possession loss, 5 width and 8 depth. Now, press after possession loss, like I said, pretty self-explanatory. They just press after they lose the ball. You do get the ball back a lot from this, which stops a lot of counterattacks, and you do get a lot of free goals because you have so many like central bodies in the narrow that if they like tackle you with their center back, your team just hunts them down and it's very hard for them to clear the ball, especially because your fullbacks and everything are pushed up, so you really do contain them quite well. Now the problem is if they get past that press, you are very exposed at the back, so that's when you need to start just slide tackling to try get your team reset. But you'll get better at that as you practice a bit more. 5 width, you know, just standard. 8 depth, this one's pretty big as well. Now the best thing about 8 depth is your team keeps auto offside trapping and pushing your team up the pitch when they're like holding it on the edge of your box. So basically it just means your team won't sit 2 back and they won't be able to just pass it inside your box and just turn one defender and shoot. Your team does push up outside your box even, which is actually really nice, and you catch so many people offside. So offensively, you got the fast build up. Now this is, it's so many pros and so many cons. Like your team does bomb forward and you have so many options, but also if you hold the ball too long, everybody kind of just sits against the defenders and you have no real passing options and you're in trouble. So if you play slow build up, these tactics just won't work on fast build up. You can use balanced, but then you have to change some instructions as well. Then the width on that is 5, and players in the box is actually 8 because there's a lot of crossing in this. So yeah, keep that in mind. And then also in my lineup, I do have Davies in this, which is really nice to have. Mendy is okay, but he kind of struggles with dribbling. So there's that to keep in mind. As for instructions, attacking runs, this is probably the most important thing, is you want your strikers to be balanced. If you have the man getting behind, I talk about it later in the gameplay clips, why you don't want that. But yeah, just trust me, don't do it. You want Neymar to stay forward, that's fine. Then Mbappe is on balance cover wing, super important because he fills in for Cancelo sometimes. And then Bruno is stay back cover wing because once again he'll fill in for Davies sometimes. But then Ronaldo, you want to stay back cover center, and then the fullbacks are just balanced and overlap, pretty easy. Also, I recommend setting up like a 5-4-1 for if you do have the lead, because you do want to switch. If you go like 2 goals up kind of relatively late in the game, you don't want to still be down attacking. So you could just put all your players like your fullbacks and stay back and stuff if you want to just stay the same formation. But if you want to really see out a game, I recommend this 5-4-1. So pretty balanced tactics all around. You do max out width so that you have a lot of options to hold the ball, especially if somebody is pressing you. So you may be wondering what Mbappe is doing here. Mbappe gets subbed off for a towel, so don't worry about that. Speaking of subs, you also need 2 fullback subs to sub off your left and right back because they will be too tired otherwise. But I just get like a Tomato and whoever. I use Tavernier and a towel personally, but you can use whoever. But yeah, and then instructions. I stay forward on Ronaldo so I can clear it to him, but then everybody else is come back on defense and stay back while attacking, just so you're pretty solid defensively to see out the game. Alright, let's get on to gameplay. So here's game we played, 5-2. Pretty convincing win. But we did also, you know, concede a couple of goals, but that's part of the formation. You know, it happens. Don't worry about it too much. You're not really going to keep clean sheet with this, but you should score more goals than you concede, and that's kind of the aim here. So first goal, pretty simple goal, and that's what I like about all these goals. None of them really are very skill move heavy or anything, so it's something you guys can really incorporate. So here we just have the ball in midfield, we pass it on to Bruno, and now Alphonso Davies makes this a beautiful run in behind, and with those custom tactics, the fast build up, the fullbacks on balanced overlap, they're gonna make these runs, right? And then once I make this run, it's actually over, I've scored, okay? You can't defend this fast enough. And this is what's just so incredible, okay? Because you see Ronaldo at the top of your screen right there, it's against Gomez. Okay, and he's just gonna be faster. The attacking AI, especially in fast build-up, are just faster than defenders. So all you gotta do is an RB cross. That'll work every single time. It's such an easy goal. So once you see that overlap, you play the true ball to the fullback. Doesn't matter who you have here. You can have your Mendy. You can have maybe an Acuna and a Damatroy. Whoever you got, play it there. You'll see the striker will run in front of the defender. Bang, tap in, goal. Thank you very much. Now, let's get on to the next goal. Here, we've obviously got the ball back. We pass it up to one of our strikers. Now, you'll notice Neymar's the one making the run as the cam, and my 2 strikers are actually just sitting there. That's why they're on mixed and not in get it behind. Because with fast build-up, your cam like gets this get in behind instruction, so he'll always make runs. So if you have your 2 strikers on getting behind, everybody will just go forward and you'd have nobody to hold the ball. But here, you know, you just pass it into Ronaldo, just does a little true ball to Neymar, and then just a little chip finish. Easy, right? Nothing much to it. Anything you guys can do. But more importantly, anything any team can do, right? So sure, this is Ronaldo and Neymar, right? But like anybody can do that. There's nothing here that was specifically needed these players to do. And then you got this Pele goal. So this is an example of press after possession loss, why it's so effective, right? So we've lost the ball here, but we've got all the bodies. We're just kind of annoying him with Neymar, and we make him pass it into the Pele, and then just a ball roll, shot, bang, nothing too complicated, goal. Easy, right? Then we have another chance here. So Neymar's played in behind once again, similar to the second goal. But here, the scenario is a bit different, okay? So you gotta keep your head up in this formation because you always have somebody back post. It's just how it goes, right? So here you could chip the goalkeeper, but in my mind, the cross to Pele is a better one. So I just normal X cross here. So you don't want to do an RBX here. So when there's free space at the back post, you want to do a normal cross so that it goes over the defender. Pele just taps it in. Once again, that could be any player. You don't need any heading or jumping stats to tap in that header. So easy goal. So that, like, because the defender is like low, an RBX cross would just get intercepted here, I think. So you just want to do a normal cross. Easy. And then Bruno Fernandes with the last goal. And this is something else I want to point out. So like all these 5 goals are great examples of how to attack this game. So here you might be looking, what do I actually do? You know, you think this kind of hard scenario. He's pulled out his goalkeeper. But even if he didn't pull out his goalkeeper, I'd be doing the exact same thing. So what happens a lot in this formation is if the like 2 forwards are going with the defenders, then there's normally somebody slightly dropped back. And in this scenario, it is Bruno who's open. So you just RBX cross into him, bang, free goal. Now, even if the goalkeeper was there, this probably still goes in. So that's what I mean. Like if you RBX this, like in real time, look how fast the shot goes, bang. It's probably still going to go in, even if Alisson is on his line. So it's something you just gotta pay attention to as well. Is, you know, if the attackers aren't in front of the defenders, like they're not here, you gotta look to see if somebody has dropped and is left open for a free shot. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe.
Yo,
see you guys next time.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.